We are ready to go live. And hey, everybody, we are live tonight. It is Psychic Vision Live, and it is August 22nd. And we've got a full moon tonight, guys. So thank you to everybody who's going to be watching in. And we're going to just introduce everybody as well, too. We're just going to give this a few minutes and see if we get any of our viewers watching in here this evening. Oh, we've already got one viewer in here now already. Welcome to the live stream. One of the things I am going to mention to our viewers, we've got a couple of viewers in here. One of the things I am going to mention to our viewers is if you have a question for any of our advisors this evening, please make sure that you put the advisor's name first, and then I can field those questions out to them directly. So tonight we have myself, my name is Jen, and we also have Sina, we have Dan, and we have Jody this evening. And we're just waiting to see if Naja does make it in with us tonight or not. I know with her time zone, she may have a little bit of an issue coming forward, but hopefully she'll be able to join us. So everybody, that's great. I'm so glad that everybody's here watching the Psychic Vision live video stream. This is our first time ever doing it. And we really appreciate you watching and joining us for this event. Now, for everybody who knows what Psychic Vision is all about, we do recorded video readings for you in app. We do two different types of readings. We have a standard reading and we have an enhanced reading. And we also have live chat as well, too. So for our viewers who are watching, we are going to be offering a special promotion code for you. Let me just put that up here. The promotion is Get 5. So if you use that promotion code in app, you're able to get 5 live chat credits with any of our advisors who are active for the live chat session. So you can use that into the promo code area. So without further ado, I am going to introduce ourselves to our viewers. We have 4 viewers here. Hi, viewers who are watching us. Again, if you have any questions for any of us, please put your advisor's name first and then the question you'd like to ask them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a round table, and everybody can just introduce yourselves and let our viewers know who you are and what you can provide to us. I'm going to start with myself. My name is Jen, and I'm located in Ontario, Canada. I've been reading for almost 30 years now, and I focus mostly on tarot. My screen name is, or my trade name is that Tarot Girl. I mostly focus with tarot. I do work with angels as well, too. And I love doing the video readings. As you can tell, I'm a talker. I'm a classic Sagittarius, and I definitely love doing the video connections with you guys. I'm going to pass it over to Goddess Sina, and she's down in California, if I'm not mistaken. Are you with us, Adrian? Are you with us, Sina? I think there she is.
Talking to?
Yep, talking to you, Sina. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking, Jen.
Awesome. That's great. Could you let our viewers... Yeah. Can you let our viewers know a little bit about yourself and what you can offer for them?
Moi?
Yes, please.
Well, yeah, I do readings online, and I, specialize in a lot of relationships as well. So, yeah, that works out pretty good.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sina. I just want to mention Danielle is here. Hi, Danielle. We see you in our chat. Hi, Danielle. If you have any questions for any of our readers tonight, please make sure to put the reader's name first, and then we can help you out. Next, I'm going to pass it over to Jody. Hi, Jody. How are you tonight?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And how can you help us out tonight, or all our viewers?
Wow. I have been reading for about 35 years. My love and my passion is tarot. And I connect with energies. My gift is really of tapping into energies, following them forward, seeing where things are naturally, where they're likely to go. And if we don't like the direction, the way something is going, we look for a better way for you to get you to where you want to go. And I specialize in past life regressions.
That's awesome. I need to come and talk to you privately about that.
Come on down.
I need to remember that for sure, for sure. And I see Dan. Hi, Dan. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing. Everything's going good for you. So I'm a psychic, medium, tarot reader. I do a little bit of everything. I try to incorporate it all to get the best picture I can for people and help them out in the best ways that I can. So I found it helpful to kind of mingle all three at times.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Just want to mention we've got Josie saying hello to us as well too. Hi, Josie. And we've also got Sam watching as well too. Hi, guys. How are you this evening? Just
Hi,
another
Sam,
mention.
Josie, and Danielle.
Another mention to you guys, if anybody has any questions for any of our readers, please just put into the conversation here your reader's name and any question for them. So with that being said, I just want to jump right into this full moon. Tonight is the full moon. Well, it actually was this morning at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Technically, that's when the full moon was full. But we've been seeing it full the last couple days, and it's been beautiful. It's been awesome. And it's obviously this evening. If you have no cloud cover, please go out and check it out. It's going to be beautiful. And with the full moon tonight, we actually have Jupiter and then Saturn as well. So when you're seeing the full moon, if you just look to the right, you'll see Jupiter and Saturn as well too. They're very highlighted also. And, you know, in North America, we've got a lot of fires happening and there's a lot of smoke in the air. So it actually kind of distorts the color of the moon as well, too, as you've known with the sun, too. You know, when the sun comes up in the morning, you see the sun is a little bit more redder. It actually distorts the smoke in our atmosphere, distorts the color of the moon as well, too. But this is a full moon, which is also a blue moon tonight. And it is a special blue moon. We haven't had one of these types of blue moons in about 5 years. And this is a special blue moon, whereas there's 4 full moons in a season. And this summer, it's on June 24th, July 23rd, today, August 22nd. And then the 4th one is going to be September 20th, which is right at the fall equinox as well, too. So it's a rare occasion to have this specific blue moon as well, too. So this is a really interesting event, and it is something that energetically speaking, I personally have found there's a lot of emotions flying around, a little bit more emotions than normal for a normal full moon. Yeah, everybody's agreeing with that. Full moons are normally emotionally charged to begin with, but this one seems to be a little bit more, like a little bit more charged of an emotion full moon happening here. So for any of our watchers, you know, if you're having some tense moments with your partner or in relationships or, you know, our kids, even with our dogs. I've noticed my puppy is a little bit funky too. You know, animals for sure. Actually, I heard a wolf howling the other night, which is the first I've ever heard in a long time. And I actually live in a city. So it was a little bit odd to hear that. I was a little bit concerned. But yeah, you know, even the animals are reacting to the full moon as well too. I just see Danielle is mentioning that Sam and I are in a hurricane right now. Oh my gosh. Sam and Danielle, I just mentioned to Dan before we started that yes, there was mention of a hurricane up on the eastern seaboard. So please stay safe for sure. So yeah, folks, any of our readers have anything to say about full moon energy or anything in particular that you want to mention about full moon stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing to be added. I think you got it.
Well, it's cool that comes apart.
I think it's really awesome, you know, the full moon. And, you know, one of my favorites, when I was a younger reader, I'll say the younger reader, I used to go by the name Moon Mistress. When I was doing tarot readings, when I first started out, I really enjoyed the moon, and I would actually prefer the moonlight over the sunlight, which is kind of weird. But I mean, I really like the moon more so, and I would even keep my curtains open at night to have the moon coming in while I was sleeping. I really appreciate the moon energy a lot more than our normal sun. But I like the sun too because it's super hot.
Yeah, the moon's more fun though.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
You can actually see more details of the moon, and it's I don't know. I've always been a night person, so it just
for
works.
sure. For sure, being spiritual, you know, somebody who does, you know, believes in spells and rituals and things of that as well too. In the Wicca religion and the paganism religion, you know, the moon is a very integral and important part of the belief system as well too. So all those people that say we're dancing under the moon naked around the fire, you know, hey, it happens. You know, people do that. It's all good. It's all good. One thing I'd like to see is actually Stonehenge. I would really like to see Stonehenge during an eclipse or during a lunar eclipse or during a solar eclipse. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty neat.
I'd like to see Stonehenge, period. That would be pretty awesome.
The last time I was there, you had to be so far away from it. You were like on a road and you were like, there it is. You can look at it, but you can't go up to it. They wouldn't let people go to it. This was in 2012. So this was a while ago. And they won't let you go up to it unless you have a special tour or a special pass to do it. So that kind of sucks. It does for the normal person. I just noticed that Danielle is mentioning that she loves the moon as well too. And Sam is mentioning that she feels more with the moon than the sun. I'm not sure if you're a he or a she, Sam, but I definitely understand that you feel more with the moon as well than the sun too.
Sam's a she.
Sam's a she. Hi, Sam. Sam's a she. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So yeah, so does any of our viewers have anything they'd like to ask any of our readers this evening? I'll just wait for a few moments here for anybody to post anything. I'm hearing beeps and dings, so I'm just waiting to see what pops up.
Well,
I feel more alive in the middle of the night. I actually will get up in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I will start baking. I'll start working. I'm just like ready to go at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I might be asleep by 9 o'clock at night. But yeah, the something about being awake when it feels like nobody else in the world is. It feels like you're the only person in the world, and there's you and your friend the moon.
Yeah,
there's something about it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I've actually gone outside as well too recently with this new puppy that I have at 2 or 3 in the morning a few times, and really enjoyed, having summer, which is the warm humidity, but also at night too. And you're right, that peace that there's nothing really happening. You don't hear the birds. It's a different quiet. It's a different quiet. And, the cars aren't going by and there's no sounds, and it's just like calm. It's a different calm.
I love it. I feel so connected to energy, to spirit. I just feel like alive,
For sure. Absolutely. Well, tonight, like I said, let's enjoy this full moon for sure. And I'm glad you're awake later than 9 o'clock tonight so you can hang out with us. So
thank you.
That's great. I just want to mention Sam has a question asking, what would we recommend for somebody wanting to get into tarot and the craft? So I'm not sure if Dan wants to maybe answer this for Sam or Jody. Sure. Yeah.
Well, for tarot, I always recommend finding something that you're drawn to. Although I would be careful because you want to go with something that's not too much. Okay, so here, real quick, to give you an idea of what might be too much. I mean, I love this deck. I use it, but I've been doing tarot for over 15 years at this point. Like the Starman Tarot. Okay, it's very busy, and that could be a little difficult for a beginner because there's so much going on. The energy's all over. So while I love the deck, like I said, I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of know what's going on with the cards already, and I can go from there. But Ciro Marchetti has some great decks for beginners, like Gilded Tarot is a great one. You can also start with like Rider Waite is a good one with plenty of symbology in those, but not as overly energetic as some decks can be, because that can be overwhelming trying to learn with. I'd also recommend a good book. There's tons of good books out there. I know one that's come highly recommended to me and I've read through is 78 Degrees of Wisdom. It's got all kinds of stuff on how they interact, things like that. Barbara Moore writes some great books on tarot. But basically find a deck that you're drawn to, that you really feel connected with the energy, because I've got a Rider Waite deck here, but when I was learning, I could not connect with it. I could not connect with Rider Waite. So I wound up getting Gilded Tarot was my first one. And I hear that from a lot of beginners that's a great one also for them. But between the two, I mean, if go with what, or another, go with what you feel connected to. That's going to be the big thing. Keep a journal. write down the meanings, write down what they mean to you in your own words. Try to come up with ways they relate to your life. You can do daily draws, and then at the end of the day, look at how that card related to the day. There's so many things you can do. When you get out there with the basic meanings, start reading for friends and family, and get feedback from them on things, because you'll find new meanings to the cards beyond what any book's going to tell you when you get out there and do readings for people.
For sure.
Also trust your intuition. That's another thing is you'll find in the middle of a reading, you'll be looking at a card and something will jump out at you, and just deliver that message with it. Because if you get that quick thought that jumps out at you, you need to go with that and deliver it. If you don't, they might come back and say, well, there's this. And, then you can come back and say, well, I saw that, but I didn't say it. But that's not really going to help. You just want to let the energy flow and give it. So, but yeah, just a fairly basic deck that you feel connected with. I know Sam, I believe Danielle had mentioned she had started her with a Rider-Waite deck, started her working with that, and Sam seemed to connect well. So I get a Rider-Waite deck. You can go on Amazon, get them all day long for $10 to $15 because they're there's no copyright on them anymore, so everybody and their brother's making one. But yeah, that would be a good route to go. And again, books, learn, get the basic meanings down, and then get out there reading for people you know.
Yep, so. That's exactly it. And one of the things that I actually have told people as well too for picking out a deck is actually going into the store and looking at the decks, looking at all the pictures, looking at the boxes, looking at them on the shelf and seeing, because as an example, if you see this on the shelf, you're like, ooh, that looks kind of neat. Or you see something like that, and you're just like, well, that's kind of boring looking. And, when you're looking at these things, like my deck that I've been using is very basic. Oh, there's the death card, for example. So mine is what's actually known as the Witch's Tarot, but it is also known as the James Bond deck. And this was made in 1976 or 1974. And it was actually in one of the James Bond movies. Can't remember the name of the movie, but this deck was actually featured in it. And this is my first deck that I got when I was 14 or 15 years old. And this is the one that's been with me all these years that I've been reading as well, too. So like Dan said, you find a deck and you stick with it, and it just sort of comes to you. And again, I've got an Angel Tarot deck, which I use all the time too, but it's not as connected as this one. This is the one that, that's normally the one that you go into the store, you pick it out. And again, yeah, Amazon, they've got everything. So if you can't physically go into the store due to COVID, then of course you can go into Amazon and pick something as well too. But visually, looking at the pictures, sometimes they can be very overwhelming, but they're awesome looking. But there's so many decks out there that, everybody has their own preference. And like Dan said, the meanings of the cards are not necessarily what you're going to pick up as well either. It's going to be how you're feeling or what that card makes you feel or think about. And you have to run with that intuition, because that could be very important to the client you're reading for. And absolutely start reading for yourself, exactly like he said, start picking a card daily, reading for your friends, just doing it for fun. And then start going into doing things a little bit more publicly, and then, doing your services. In regards to the craft itself, if you are interested in learning, for example, about Wicca or paganism, Scott Cunningham has a really good book that I picked up when I was a teenager as well, too. Scott Cunningham was like the head dude, I guess is the best way to say it, on paganism and Wicca. And it's very, very good information as well, too. There's a lot of books out there. A lot of people are selling stuff, and a lot of people are pushing some weird things. But I find Scott Cunningham, he was like the first. And he's like the one, the go-to sort of thing. I guess you can almost say his information is like the Bible sort of thing almost, and a lot of good information there. So one of the things, Sam, if you're looking for anything, you can always check out Amazon. Again, Amazon's a wonderful place. Google as well too, but just be careful what you're getting into, and just make sure it's reputable. And you could always check with one of our readers, one of us, Dan or any of the readers here at Psychic Vision, and sort of check in with us and see if we have any recommendations as well too. I'm just going to go over to the chat and sort of update everybody on what's been said here. Kimberly is here. Hi, Kimberly. It's nice to see you. Josie mentions she also loves being awake at night as well, too. Danielle has mentioned as well. She likes cleaning in the middle of the night when she's not sleeping. Sam says, thank you to Dan. Danielle says, great advice. Danielle is also mentioning that the Rider Waite deck is the only deck that she's used. She's had the same deck for 20 years as well, too. So that seems to be the theme. You pick up a deck and you never drop it. You never let it go. Josie mentions that there are tarot apps out there that are really good. Yes, I agree. They upload the photos to the app and it's right there on your phone. So that's another thing, too. If you connect with something like that, by all means, use it. It's what you connect with. There's no rules. There really isn't any rules when it comes to intuition and connecting, and it's what works for you and what works for you best and what is more accurate as well, too. Danielle's got a question for us. Do any of us have any thoughts about buying our own deck versus gifting them? She was given her deck. She was given her deck at any time I've tried to buy her own, something always distracts her. So she was given her deck, but every time she tries to buy her own, something distracts. So yeah, Jody, what do you have to say in regards to that?
Well, nobody's going to know what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you better than you do. And I think it's probably one of those old traditions that it just kind of gets passed verbally, oh, don't buy your own deck. And I wouldn't listen to it, definitely, because look at the pictures. You're going to instinctively know, hey, I resonate with that, or that excites me, or or no thanks. And no one else is going to know that better than you.
Well, tarot used to be something that was kind of an exclusive thing. Okay, and it was passed down from generation to generation or whatever. And so it's kind of an old wives' tale, but it comes from that time where the teacher would gift a deck to the student. Okay, so that idea kept it more exclusive, because there was that idea that it'll only work for you if it's gifted. Well, that's not true. I've bought every deck I have, and right now I think I have about 10 decks. I've 10 to 12 right now. It's an addiction. If I had more money, I would buy more decks. If I could justify just blowing money on decks, but that is kind of an old wives' tale. I have never had an issue with reading with decks that I've bought. So, I mean, although it isn't a bad thing. Like, my daughter had a friend who wanted to get into tarot, and she bought her a deck, and I had an extra book from, I think it was Steampunk Tarot or something, because I'd ordered a second deck because my first one was kind of getting messed up. So I ordered a second deck and gave her the extra book to go with the deck she bought for the person. So I don't feel there's necessarily a bad thing in buying the deck, but my daughter also found out the person really liked and was drawn to the Steampunk Tarot, so she was like, okay, here's a Christmas gift.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
I think what I'm going to do with and you're right, Dan, I've got a whack of decks, and sometimes they're even in boxes. I've got a box here and I haven't even unpacked them yet, but we tend to have, our favorite decks or the decks that resonate with us. But I've even noticed that sometimes I'll just want to use something else for a couple months, or go into a different one, and it just seems to be that maybe this one's getting a little tired and needs to go in its box for a little bit, and it just needs a little bit of a rest. But actually, my decks, this one, no one has ever touched it, like not my kids or not anybody. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to leave it to somebody when I'm no longer needing it, whoever may be interested in using it. I actually took my niece into a store once, and I said to her, you pick out whatever you want. And she picked out 2 decks, and I got them for her. But I mean, I paid for them for her because I was introducing her to it, but she picked out the deck. So I didn't actually pick it out for her. She picked it out, but I bought it for her as a gift to my niece. But I think that my decks that I use, and because my kids know what I do, I think I might leave it to my kids or even to my grandkids one day if I get grandkids, and sort of leave that into the family. my grandmother actually taught me about doing readings and about about my intuition, but I never seen her with a deck of cards. She always had playing cards. So she always would play with playing cards, and she would play beat the devil is what she would call it, solitaire. But I know now as an adult that those cards are what she did readings with people when they came over to the house. I mean, I didn't realize it as a child, but now as an adult, I do know. So she was just using the regular playing cards, which a lot of people use as well too, which is called cartomancy, if I'm not mistaken, is how to pronounce that. So just going over to the conversations. Let's see here. Kimberly says hi, but Kimberly has asked us a question in regards to suggestions for manifesting tonight, for tonight's full moon. Does anybody have any suggestions for manifesting? Anybody have any ideas?
One of the biggest things is your focus. You have to have the energy of it. You have to focus. The clearer you can picture it in your mind, the better. And this is, believe it or not, this is the same way it goes with spell work. Okay, you could have all the tools in the world. If you're not putting your energy into it, it's not going to work. It's your focus, your energy, your feelings go behind it. I'm drawn to lighting a candle. Light a candle, meditate on the candle, and just focus your energy into what you're looking to manifest. But that's the big thing I'm getting, is to meditate while watching that candle, and to focus all your energy kind of into that light.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. One of the things that I used to do was journal at the same time. So what I would do is I would light the candle, depending on what I wanted to manifest as well too, or think about, again, using the color correspondences. For example, blue is communication, green would be money, gold would be money, pink or red would be relationship stuff. But I would light the candle, or white candle is the all-purpose candle, right? So light a candle, and then at the same time writing out, journaling, writing out what you're wanting to achieve during this period of time, whatever it may be. Try hard. You want to be specific, but at the same time, you don't want to limit yourself. So you want to be specific into receiving something and manifesting. But if you limit it to a specific day or a time or a number or an amount, the universe maybe can't work with that exactly. So then when it doesn't happen, you sort of get a little bit frustrated. So try to keep it a little bit more open-ended. You want to manifest the relationship. I want to manifest a great relationship. Well, say it just like that, but make sure you don't say I want to manifest a relationship by next Tuesday, because if you put a limitation on it, you might get disheartened with yourself and with the universe as well too. But definitely candles, and if you can, be outside and write down what you're thinking. And another thing that I used to do too is, if you can, put the piece of paper and what's left of the candle wax in the ground. Plant it like a seed. Put it into the ground, bury it, and keep it in there, because that can grow, that can manifest as well. Or burning it and allowing the smoke to go up into the universe. The two ways to sort of get your message out into the world, into the universe. So hopefully that helps, Kimberly. Did you have anything to add to it, Jody? Did you want to add anything in regards to manifesting?
Yeah, absolutely. If you can visualize not how your goal is going to be happening, not the means to it, but just visualize like it as it is, like it is done, and visualize the energy of the full moon, bringing that visualization to life. Very, very effective.
For sure. Absolutely. Kimberly is mentioning, she says, thank you very much. That all makes perfect sense to her. So that's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, it looks like we lost Sina during our conversation. I think she was having a little bit of tech issues. She was down in California, so she wasn't seeing the full moon yet, but unfortunately we lost her. But I'm sure if anybody's looking at speaking with her in app again, as you guys can see that we have a promo code up. It's called Get5. And if you go into the Psychic Vision app, download the app, and your first reading is 99 cents if you haven't got a first reading yet, but you can use that promo code, which is right there, and you can put that into the promo code area. You'll get 5 live chat credits to speak with any of our readers who are available for live chat. Kimberly says, wonderful. Thank you very much again, Kimberly. So that being said, guys, you know, it was great that we had this conversation tonight. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us for a little bit and having our first Psychic Vision live stream event. We are probably going to have it again, and of course we'll notify everybody. And again, mention, guys, you know, if you haven't been in Psychic Vision yet, go ahead and download us. Your first reading is 99 cents, and use that promo code, and you can get some live chat credits as well too. And myself, Jody, Dan, we are there, as well as we have, I think, 45 other readers available to help you out at any given moment. You can always order a video reading with us or get a live chat. Kimberly's asking, where is the promo code area? Kimberly, so in the bottom right-hand corner, there should be a couple dots that'll go to a more page. You go to there, and in the listing, it will say coupon code or promo. I'm not exactly sure what the terminology is. Go there and then put in this get 5, and it will add 5.00 credits into your in-app balance. If you have any problems with getting it, Kimberly, just contact customer support and we'll get you fixed up. So no problems there. Danielle is saying good night to everybody. Thank you, Danielle. And Josie, thank you for letting us know that you love the app and you enjoyed watching us tonight. So with that being said, we're going to sign off and say thank you to everybody. And if you would like to speak with us in person or in app, in person, we're there to help you out. Have a great night, guys, and enjoy the full moon. Take care.
Thanks very much.
Bye, guys.